Hey guys, how's it going today? A little bit different view here. So today I thought I would go over my top 5 favorite automotive books. So these are in no order. I'll start with the Peterson Big Book of Auto Repair. This mostly covers anything from the 50s, 60s, 70s, back in the 30s and 40s. I mean, it's all about the same, but it covers everything from electronic ignition, clutches, manual transmissions, the engine. If you were to have one book for repair, this would be the book I would start with, especially if you have an older vehicle. It kind of goes through just the general stuff, and yeah, it's very easy to use, very nice to have for reference. May not cover everything, but it is well worth having, and you can usually find them just about anywhere. This is a 1980 edition. I have another one over there, I think from the 70s. So we'll go to the next book. If you're into automotive machining, the Sun and Complete Cylinder Head and Engine Rebuilding Handbook is handy. This is a hard book to find and is very expensive, it seems like. I don't know. I bought one and I had to get it off eBay, and it was more than what I normally pay for books, but it covers everything from engine design, the assembly process, a lot of just basic information at the beginning, but it does dive into how to test stuff. What else do we got in here? Taking care of head work, and it's a student book, so I mean it's got questions in it. It tells you how to put in basically anything to rebuild a motor, magnafluxing, just all sorts of stuff. I bought it for reference or to use if I ever get around to getting some more machinery, but great book to have, expensive book. Next, Power Secrets by Smokey Eunuch. This book also is kind of hard to get and to buy. If you buy it on Amazon, it's going to be kind of expensive, but if you go to Smokey Eunuch's website, who's passed away, but his daughter runs the website, you can get it there as a reprint for fairly cheap. Not fairly cheap, but for a normal new book price. But the detail that he goes into, just talking about each section of the motor, it's well worth to read if you want to hop up a motor, or you just want the general information of how could I improve this, or what should I improve to make my car a little bit better. Bob Lutz Car Guys versus Bean Counters. I read this book in college, and I was amazed about how he works as the vice chairman of General Motors at the time, and he goes through like the Saturn era and what kind of caused it to collapse and all that. So it was a very interesting read to get a different view than what you would see on the news. Last but not least, One Man's Vision. This is a great book. I had to read this in college, and I was kind of regretting it. I'll give you a little synopsis of it. The kid, as a kid, the gentleman, he became blind, but he found ways to become a machinist and machined his own parts. He was a heir, I guess you could say, to the Perfect Circle company. So it's a great book. If you get the chance to read it, it's really good. And going into it as a student, you think, oh great, here's another assigned book. But it was well worth the read because it gives you not necessarily inspiration, but you can, how do I put this? To marvel at how this gentleman who overcame difficulties pushed through and did some of the things he did. I'm not going to spoil the book. So there's that. That's my top 5. Now I'll throw in some honorable mentions here. The Driver talks about the gentleman who basically did the cannonball run from New York to, I think it's LA, at least I should say California. He beat the time and was only beat by Richard Rawlins, I believe, the next year. So everybody knows who that Richard Rawlins is, but this guy did a lot of racing, or not really racing, but kind of that gray zone of racing on the street, and to beat certain times over long distances. Another great book, Fordlandia. This is the book about Ford trying to build his rubber factory or his rubber plantation in South America. Really great book, goes into very good detail, very interesting. And my last but not least honorable mention, can't leave out Zora Arkus Duntov. Basically the guy who saved Corvette. This goes through his complete life story. He had a crazy life, and it's well worth the read. So, anyways, thanks for watching. These are my top 5 automotive books and the 3 honorable mentions. Thanks for watching.